One of Donald Trump's most prolific TV surrogates had an extremely interesting take on the relationship between his voters and the truth. Let's listen.
I'm sure you've heard James Fallows talk about lies that Donald Trump has put out there in tweets, in things he said. What do you make of that?
Well, I think it's also an idea of an opinion. And that's, on one hand, I hear half the media saying that these are lies. But on the other half, there are many people that go, no, it's true. And so one thing that has been interesting this entire campaign season to watch is that people that say facts are facts, they're not really facts. Everybody has a way. It's kind of like looking at ratings or looking at a glass of half full water. Everybody has a way of interpreting them to be the truth or not truth. There's no such thing, unfortunately, more of facts. And so Mr. Trump's tweet amongst a certain crowd, a large part of the population, are truth. When he says that millions of people illegally voted, he has some facts amongst him and his supporters. And people believe they have facts to back that up. Those that do not like Mr. Trump, they say that those are lies, and there's no facts to back it up.
Okay. So in the beginning, she mentioned false equivalency, but seemed to be celebrating it.
Yeah.
She's like, now in the media, there are people who say things are true and people who say it's not true. Great.
Can I play devil's advocate on this, though?
Yeah.
Like, I get in these arguments all the time, and I don't think people generally understand the difference between opinions and facts. Mm-hmm. So, like, they say
or
everyone's entitled.
Yeah,
they say, well, everyone's entitled to their opinion, and I'm like, but I just described gravity and germ theory. Like, these aren't opinions.
Yeah.
So that's what it is she might be arguing like opinions because they don't know the difference between opinions and facts.
No, well, that's exactly what she intimated at the end when she said when Mr. Trump tweets these things, people believe it to be true. I know, but that doesn't make it true. You're describing their opinion, which happens to be factually incorrect, as opposed to things that are actually true. So what they were referring to in the beginning of the conversation is Trump's tweet about the 3 million people who voted illegally in this election. There is no such thing. No one has ever produced one shred of evidence. It doesn't exist. It's not true. And if their claims are true, we would love to see the evidence. You see, unlike them, we would look at the evidence. We would, because we care about facts. But there are no such facts. So she says, no, that's okay because we believe it anyway. Yeah. Hence, it becomes true by us believing it.
Yeah,
that's amazing. That's an amazing statement.
You could have delivered most of what she said and simply be describing the lack of interest that Trump voters have with the facts. You could do that. But you said the word celebratory. She is celebrating this. And why shouldn't she? Politics, according to her, thanks to Trump, has now been moved into the realm of religion, where whether something feels good and the people around you believe it is more than enough to justify believing it and basing your life and what the government does off of that. We've been fighting that battle, but while we've been doing it, the goalposts have been moved to where whether 3 million people voted is now not even up for debate. Debate is meaningless because there's no facts with which to debate. It's simply, does it seem like it? Well, yeah, there's a lot of Hispanics out there. We all know that Obama told them to go vote, even though that didn't happen. It's just whether it makes you feel good. It doesn't matter what the source was. It doesn't matter what the evidence is. Evidence makes it suspect to begin with. They don't like science.
And guess what? Climate change doesn't care whether you believe in it or not.
It still happens.
It's going to destroy our ability to sustain, no matter whether you believe in it or not. Your water is polluted, whether you believe it's being polluted or not. Like these things don't.
What's interesting about her statement was that she got meta with it, which sounds like a rap song. Get meta with it, because before it would be on a specific topic. Hey, you say climate change is real. I say it's fake, false equivalency. We're having a BS debate over it, right? Here she's saying truths and lies are equal. So, like, just as concepts, you say facts, we say non-facts, and now you got to call that even. Like, it's wonderfully brazen in its honesty towards lies.
Well, we should also, I think, if we're going to try to engage in political persuasion and actually debating the biggest issues that the government can bring to bear on, I think that we need to understand that strategically we have a very different way of operating than conservatives. We want to gather evidence and then analyze it and then figure out policies that work with that evidence to produce something. But they want to just produce something. Like, they want taxes to go down. They don't actually care whether taxes going down enhances the economy, actually grows the economy. They'll make that claim, but they're not interested in the mediary steps between them and the outcome. They simply want the outcome. They don't really care about whether climate change is real. They want businesses to be unregulated. It doesn't matter if 75 years later your kids die as a result of the pollution or the temperatures or anything like that.
Yeah, so that's a really great point by John, because we view the truth as an end. They view truth or lies as a means to another end.
Yeah.
So, hey, if they've got the truth on their side to get to that end, great. If they don't, not a big deal.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, on climate change, why would they bother denying reality of what 97% of the world's scientists say? So, for example, if 97% of the world's scientists said, a meteor is coming, we'll all be dead in a week, okay, you might want to prepare. Right?
No, but Jake, you don't even understand how right you are, because just today, a House committee was saying they want to take funding away from meteor redirection technology.
And so let's say that it's not a week, but we've got a year, we've got a decade to prepare. And almost every scientist on Earth is like, it's right there. We see it in our telescope. It's headed straight towards us. We're all going to die, right? And they're like, well, you say tomato, I say tomato. Right? Well, but it exists. It's not a matter of opinion. So climate change is the same thing. So I know that because of the overwhelming propaganda in America, and the rest of the world thinks we're crazy because they don't live in the same propaganda. So because of the propaganda, there's a lot of Republicans watching this right now going, no, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. No, it is. 97% of the world's scientists say climate change is absolutely real. It is absolutely made by man, and it will absolutely have devastating consequences to the entire planet and perhaps our existence. So you're just choosing to ignore that. So why? Because people want to make money from oil. And oil, for as an example, let alone everything else, fracking, gas, coal, etc. But oil companies are among the top 10 companies. I think 5 out of the top 10, last I checked, were oil companies, okay? They're the most profitable companies in the world. So they've got a great incentive to keep on drilling. And so if you're worried about climate change and you say, hey, we got to keep the fossil fuels underground, because as much as people might want jobs or might want cheap gas, et cetera, it's going to kill us. Or it has the potential to kill us because of all these facts that we're showing you.
Yeah.
But the oil companies think, no, I don't care. That's for your kids. That's your kids' problem. That's your grandkids' problem. Maybe it's your problem a little bit later in life, but I'm going to get my bonus today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bribe all the politicians because you let me. You've got a system in place where I can bribe them all. So I'm going to get the politicians on my side. And then I'm going to tell the media, hey, you say tomato, I say tomato, and I'm going to put all this propaganda out there until you're confused about whether facts are actually facts, or maybe we shouldn't care about facts.
Yeah.
That propaganda was paid for by somebody for their own profit.
And to bring it all back around, Standing Rock is the perfect metaphor of everything you're saying. It represents it all.
Yeah. All right, one last thing about Corey Lewandowski here.
Oh, shit, I meant to read
That's
that.
okay. So Corey Lewandowski also getting in on the fun here. He apparently said, this is the problem with the media. You guys took everything that Donald Trump said so literally. Oh my God, that's amazing. He said, the American people didn't, they understood it. So this guy used to be the campaign manager for Donald Trump. He just basically told you, yeah, the American people understood that Donald Trump's full of shit. So you guys kind of keep trying to disprove him. Don't worry. People already know he's full of shit.
Yeah.
And he went on to say, they understood that sometimes when you have a conversation with people, whether it's around the dinner table or at a bar, you're going to say things and sometimes you don't have all the facts to back it up. Amazing!
And we
They
should
just
not
say
hold
it.
our presidents to any higher standard than a guy at a bar.
Yeah. No, first of all, you're not a dude at a bar or around a dinner table. You're running for president.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more weighty than that. Second of all, I just love their brazen honesty in this case where they're like, yeah, no, Donald Trump is lying to you. When are you going to stop getting surprised by it? You want the same old mainstream media stuff? Hell no! I hear you, brother. That's why we got a whole new show on the Young Turks called Aggressive Progressive. Members get the whole show. Do it now. tytnetwork.com/join.